This is a very helpful detailed parting tutorial to guide beginners to achieving the perfect parts like a pro. I'm going to show you how to pre-part the hair for braids. This will help you have cleaner parts and make the braiding process so much easier with a solid foundation. If you guys like this video, don't forget to like the video and comment down below. So I'm taking my client's hair and putting it out the way, and I'm going to show you guys the first section. So you're going to use the top of the ear, and that's going to be the back section. So you're going to part from ear to ear. So now you have a line from ear to ear, but it's not perfect. I'm going to show you guys the trick to get that line crispier than potato chips, okay? So I'm using jam, and I'm putting it on the back of my hand because that's what I see most professional braiders do. But you can use edge control, jam, wax. Make sure you use enough product. And you're going to go across the first line that you made. And then you're going to make another part, and it's going to be the cleanest part you've ever made. Talk about satisfying. So I went from ear to ear. Now I have my straight back section. So now I'm going to show you guys how to get 3 sections. So I'm going to go from the back of her ear, and I'm going to part to the other side of the back of her other ear. So you guys see it'll be the back section, the middle section, the front section. So as you guys see, front, ear to ear, to the back of the ear, to the back of the ear. So now I'm going to fry that part and make it very, very crispy. So the trick here is that I'm using the body parts on her head in order to make her sections. So you guys see that middle section is crisp and it looks nice. That's the back section, the middle section, and that's the front section. And I used her ear. 3 sections. So now for the middle part, I'm using the middle of her nose, and I took my rat tail comb and I just went all the way up from her nose. And that's how I create the part that's going to be directly in the middle of her forehead. And the star of the show, the jam. All the products I use will be linked in the description box down below. And there will be times you're going to have to go through a second round and make another part just to get the part super, super straight. And I'm just adding more product just to make sure the fine hairs stay on whatever side I need them to stay on. And boom, there you go. Straight part directly in the middle of her head. So now I'm going to show you guys how I get my sections in the front. This is like the hardest part. Once I learn this, I will never go back, you guys. So I'm using 5 sections. You guys see me use the comb as my guide. So I'm using the width of the comb. And that's going to be my part. like mind-blowing, right? I seen this on TikTok. I'll try to link the person's video I seen. I was like, I can't wait to try to do like braids. So each section is going to be exact. It's going to be equal. And that's the hardest part for us beginners, is to determine the width just to make the parts equal. That's like the hardest part. Boom, straight, clean part. And you guys are going to see in a little bit, each of her sections in the front are going to be equal. I always make one part at the middle of her head, and then I go to the ear. I always do it this way just because it comes out more even when you go from the top and then go from the bottom to the bottom. So to double check, it's kind of like math. To double check the width, you can always put the comb to that back of that row just to make sure it's the same width as the front of the row. And then I just twist that section aside. And then I keep on making each section, each line, each row. And please remember to double check the front of the row to the end of the row, just to make sure the width is exact. And voila, we have 5 rows in the front section. It's going to be on each side. So now I'm going to show you all 10. So it's going to be 10 rows in the front half of the hair, in the front of the hair. Front section is already parted. We're going to go into the middle section, and you're going to use the rows that you made in the front section of the head, and you're going to follow that line all the way to the other side. So I'm on the other side, and I'm making a part from that side in the middle section all the way to the other side. So you already have your foundation and your base, and all you do is do that 5 times. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 rows. Just follow the lines all the way to the other side. And always, please, once again, double check the width, because that's something that I did not do. So double check the width. So at the back of her head, I used her ear, like the middle of her ear, to create a part. So I'm dividing the back of the back section into 2 parts. Depending on how large the braids are going to be, you can divide the back section into 2 or 3 parts. So I have the back section. That's 2 parts now. I have the middle section, 5. And then we have the top section, 10. 5 on each side. And that's how you pre-part your hair for braids. So I'm going to show you guys this last step just to get your foundation and your base together. I went in the middle of her head. I don't know if you guys can see, I don't know if that's a muscle or veins, but she has 2 of them. And in the middle of that, I took the back section, the 2 parts that I made, and I'm creating a line right in the middle of that. You guys see? So, and the last section right there, I'm going to create a box that is going to be in the middle of that part. So the back row is going to have 3 braids. That's the hair I'm using. And I'm using this beeswax, oh my gosh, just to lay her hair, the root of her hair. You guys know braiders, when they have the hair looking so nice, so shiny, so laid. This is what they do. They put product on the root of the hair just to slick it down. You guys see how slick that is? And that box is in the middle of that part right there. And I'm just going to start braiding. And I'll show you guys, if you guys want to know how the easiest way to do box braids I learned, that'll be the next video. So make sure you subscribe and stay tuned. So we have 3 braids at the back. So in the middle of that braid, I'm going to make a part. And that's how you get your brick layering. So boom, directly in the middle of that braid. Beeswax, once again, root of the hair, comb it through just at the very beginning. Get all the fine hairs, all the edges, all that. So I have the 2 rows done, and you guys can see each braid is in the middle of the braid below. So that braid is on the outside. The next braid is in the middle of those 2 braids below it. That braid is in the middle, is in that window right there, and that braid's on the outside. That's how you get the brick. So with the next row, which is the middle section already, I'm going to just pre-part the braids out for the entire row, and each braid is going to have, you guys see that middle, that hair that I'm holding right now? That's going to be in the middle of the braid, of the 2 braids below it. And then right there, I'm making a part right in the middle of that braid. And then that braid is going to be that's going to fall right in between the 2 braids below it. And that braid is going to fall on the outside. So that next row had 5 braids. So I am done with the 3rd row with the pre-parts I just showed you guys. And you guys can see the brick layering. There's a box in each window. So for like that braid right under there, there's a part. And there's 2 boxes on each side. Under there, there's a part and 2 boxes on each side. I always start in the middle, by the way. And then I just do the outsides afterwards. And I am done with her hair. It turned out fantastic, you guys. It was not perfect, but you guys looked. It looks so freaking good. Very realistic for a beginner. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give me a like, comment down below, subscribe, and make sure you share the video. I'm pretty sure it would help so many people. Lastly, stay tuned for the next video. I'm going to show you the easiest way for beginners to grip the hair for box braids.